Hi everyone. Okay, I think we'll just start. Okay, so thanks all of you for joining us today for this webinar. My name is Yiting. I'm from Marketing in JustLogin. So before we start, I'll do some simple housekeeping. So I have muted all of your microphones so as to ensure the best sound quality for all of you in this webinar. So we'll be communicating using the raise hands feature. So you can try pressing the manage participants button, and then you should be able to see a raise hands feature. So if you can hear me, can you just press the raise hands? Oh, hi. Can all of you hear us? Okay, so anyway, so if any questions, you can just write down in the chat. We are going to have a short Q&A session at the end of the whole webinar. So in the middle, we'll have some kind of like participation, but we'll just ask you to raise your hand. So you can just try out that. Yeah, so if anything, you can also just drop a message in the chat. Yeah, and the whole webinar, we'll be recording it. So no worries if you miss out anything. We are able to send it to you at the end of the session. Okay, so just give you a description of our webinar today to kickstart it. So webinar is on keeping up with changing HR landscapes. So as our workplace evolves to meet the constantly changing business needs of the future economy, there's never been a more exciting time for HR teams to take workforce management to the next level, focusing on less paper and more people. So in this session, we'll be exploring the following areas: the forces driving change in HR management for SMEs, processes and tools that help to increase HR efficiency and employee satisfaction, and also some grants available to help you improve your HR. So today, I have two of my colleagues here. So I have Janice, who's currently writing to all of you on the chat now. So if anything, you can just ask Janice for if you have any technical issues or questions. Then today, our speaker would actually be Duncan. So he's our senior account manager at JustLogin. So I'll now pass on to him to actually host this seminar. So hi, Duncan.
Hi, Yiting. Thanks for the introductions. Like Inti mentioned earlier, I'm your presenter today, Duncan Pereira. You can see here, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I will try to make this an interactive session, and we will have a survey at the end. So I really appreciate your feedback in helping us to improve and design our future webinar and other events. So let's get started. So in terms of future trends, 2015 and 2016 actually saw a number of dramatic changes reshaping the workplace as we know it. As HR takes on a more strategic role in this changing landscape, we'll take a look at some key trends for the new HR professional of today. Recruitment and retention continue to remain a key priority for those operating in HR. Organizations that recognize the value of engaged staff and effectively communicate and comply with regulatory employee benefits see improved productivity, profitability, employee loyalty, and to the business. With the growth of consumerization in the workplace, 2017 will actually see the employee engagement process morph into an employee experience life cycle, where HR leaders are now looking into the creation of memorable customer experiences for employees, covering everything from the recruitment process to office environment or the quality and access to technology. How often do you actually receive positive feedbacks from your managers on the quality of your work? Traditional performance reviews are ironically getting bad reviews, and many accept that it's time for a change. In 2015 and 16, a number of big name companies like GE and Adobe actually announced their decision to do away with annual performance reviews. We have actually moved it from a recognition against years of service to daily social recognition, regular conversations and coaching or mentoring rather than traditional management. Your millennial workforce expects instant gratification from technology and social interactions. It's a trend that will continue to translate into their working lives. What is more, many organizations face uncertainty and change from month to month, and even in some cases, week to week. So the idea of setting an objective at the start of the year and expecting it to remain the same for the next 12 months is quite an outdated concept. Now, we are already seeing an evolution of the HR professional from process-led administrators to vital strategic partners championing change at leadership level. As machines and automation take over routine tasks and leave the jobs of their human counterparts in flux, the HR technologists' knowledge of both current and disruptive technologies will be vital in overcoming any friction that arises. They will be providing guidance to teams on how to move over to new ways of work, developing proper workforce plans and career paths that take machine workers into account. Now, we're finding some common HR challenges driving change for Singapore SMEs today. In the last 18 to 24 months, HR managers and company administrators have to frequently keep tabs on the Ministry of Manpower's ever-changing regulations and policies, which when poorly managed lead to very negative employee experiences or in some cases even attrition. Since 2011, approximately 10,000 baby boomers have turned 65 today, and this trend will continue for the next 15 years. The workplace in Singapore is undergoing a demographical shift, and the millennial workforce has been setting the tone for employee engagement. As boundaries between defined departments are becoming more and more blurred, organizations are moving from structured processes to projects that require a multitude of skill sets. The results are businesses hiring or leveraging people without a defined place who will move with fluidity to where their skills are in demand. We are also noticing with more forms of automation being introduced to the workplace, employees expect to work shorter hours. In a recent release by MOM, in fact just this month, the annual average hours worked per week per employee is currently at about 45.5 hours, the lowest in over a decade. HR professionals should expect to work more closely with their IT to leverage insights like big data. The result will be more strategic, data-led approaches to ensure better hiring outcomes, optimization of current employees, and lower attrition rates. So, keeping up with MOM's ever-changing regulations, we've all experienced in the last 18 months, the government is actually placing a greater focus on work-life balance with a stronger emphasis on employers to put in place fair and responsible practices to promote a more positive work culture in Singapore. One example is itemized payslips. From 1st April 2016, all employers will be required to issue itemized payslips and key employment terms or KITs to employees covered under the Employment Act. Now, do note that the grace period for the compliance actually ends on the 31st of March this year. And just to give you a quick example, a company with the size of about 20 employees that repeatedly fail to comply over the course of 1 year may actually find themselves up to about 48K in fines. Okay, so we tested a little bit earlier in terms of the raise hand function. I'm just going to ask a quick question here. How many, just raise your hand if you've recently become a parent or already have kids. Cool. Beyond your typical annual sick leave, one of the most confusing benefits employers actually struggle to effectively put in place are child-related leave. 6 out of the 8 types of mandated leave entitlements are child-related. In addition, recent changes include paid paternity leave, which is now increased to 2 weeks, effective of January 2017, for fathers of babies born in the same year, 1st Jan 2017 onwards. There's a 16-week statutory maternity leave, which is extended to unmarried mothers, which has been actually released, I think, first quarter of this year. And a shared parental leave, which is increased to 4 weeks, which will be effective in the second half of 2017. So employers and their HR managers today have to also track the age of their employees' children up to age 12. For employees with children that are actually 7 to 12 years old, they will be entitled to what is known as extended childcare leave. So we're actually now talking about this millennial generation, or our mobile millennial workforce. If I can just check from the audience again, if you could raise your hands if you have more than 1/3 of your workforce that are between the ages of 20 to 35.
Reminder, if you want to raise hand, you can go to manage participants and there's a button to raise hand.
Cool. So, great. I see some hands being raised here. But essentially what it means is that 50% or more of your workforce will actually consist of millennials by 2020. Some industries today are already welcoming what we call Gen Zs into their organizations via internship programs. Now, these are your 17, 18-year-olds today. These individuals are not defined by a single role or career goal and have a more than one single skill set to bring to the table. These are individuals that have grown up alongside mobile and social technology evolution, and this presents new challenges within the workplace as this group of people expect instant access on any device to complete their jobs and their tasks. Specific to the Asia Pacific region, millennials from Singapore actually spend the most time on the internet. Singaporeans are also switching their internet usage from computers to mobile devices as their preferred user experience platform. I think we have one question to address.
Oh, I think a couple of you still cannot hear us. So, let's give a moment to see if everyone's following. Okay, I think we can just continue first.
No problem.
Okay, Duncan, you can continue.
Thanks, Eating, and Janice for all the technical help here. Okay, I'm actually just gonna move ahead. But no worries, like we mentioned earlier, the session will be recorded. So we'll share this once we are done. Right. So actually, how many of you are actually still managing these HR processes manually today? What steps is your organization actually taking to move away from traditional forms to update, track, and manage the HR needs of your workforce? And is actually technology helping automate and automation help HR to be more efficient. We can agree that technology advancement will be driving HR efficiency. For many SMEs, still struggling with Excel spreadsheets and to some degree still managing paper forms, the barriers for adoption have been the high cost of implementing and maintaining a HR solution that is tailored specifically to their business. As we gear up to HR of the future, with software today offered as a service over the internet, a SaaS-based model, businesses have a wide variety of cost-effective solutions that can be customized to their needs. So why does this SaaS model actually make more sense? To start, you can access anywhere at any time on any device via the internet. The pay-per-use via subscription pricing ensures you only pay for what you need, providing the flexibility in economic downturn and scalability when you grow. Now, there are no maintenance contracts, upgrades, backups, infrastructure, updates are all managed by us. You do not require any hardware. All you need is JustLogin. And there's always continuous innovation for your HR in the cloud. Feedback actually drives innovation, and our software has been continuously improved by your feedback from thousands of customers over the last 17 years. And this can only be done via a cloud-based platform. And the application is actually constantly being updated with the latest government regulations or policy changes. We also constantly upgrade our application to cater to new developments in technology. So enhancements and industry best practices are incorporated into the platform, which can be then enjoyed by all customers. So what can we expect from HR of the future? With big data analytics, imagine being able to predict who is likely to resign in your organization in the next 3 months based on the behaviors they have, like the number of leave that they're taking, the amount of overtime hours they're putting in, and the last time that they actually had a pay raise. In terms of an end user experience, your employees or this millennial workforce is expecting direct interaction with your applications. So what I'd like to quickly show you now is actually a sneak peek of this JustLogin's e-leave chatbot. And essentially what it allows you to do is to apply for a leave using Facebook Messenger. Now this will be a completely free and automatic upgrade for customers, which can only be enjoyed if you're a cloud. It's really one of the benefits of being a cloud-based customers. And as well, you can see that it's really directly interacting with machine. So you send an inquiry, the machine actually processes the inquiry and actually gives you a response in terms of how many days you have or paid leave you might have. So it's actually a one-to-one interaction with machine, much like you are currently doing with your Siri on your Apple iPhone today. So we also wanted to give you a better perspective in terms of what kind of grants are actually available for HR actually in Singapore today. And one of these grants is what we call a work-life grant, which actually provides fundings and incentives for companies to offer flexible working arrangements, FWAs, for employees. Now, the aim is to actually help employees better manage work and family responsibilities and enhance the pro-family environment in Singapore. It actually consists of 2 components and allows you to tap on either or both. The development grant is a one-time grant of up to $40,000 per company to help you take steps towards implementing better work-life strategies. To be eligible for this grant, you need to appoint what is a work-life ambassador from a senior management position to champion a work-life friendly workplace for your employees and to communicate the organization's work-life policies to employees. You need to have at least one employee complete the work-life training course. The flexible working hours working arrangements incentive actually encourages companies to support more employees on FWAs and to provide and sustain work-life friendly workplaces. Now, the incentive should be used to nurture and further workplace cultures that support better work-life harmony and to receive subsequent tranches of payouts. Your company needs to sustain the work-life practices at your workplace. In addition, you need to appoint a work-life ambassador from a senior management position, again, to champion work-life friendly workplace and communicate your organization's work-life policies to employees. The difference here is that you have to formalize 2 or more new FWAs in your HR policies and communicate them to your employees. You should have no more than 6 to 10 employees on the same type of arrangement, counting towards 20 or 30% of your entire utilization of this flexible working arrangement employees. The other grant that we actually want to share with you is actually a more straightforward grant. It's actually called the Innovation and Capability Voucher, ICV, which is sponsored by Spring. And it's a simple to apply, easy to use voucher, which is valued at $5,000. And this is to encourage SMEs to develop their business capabilities. SMEs can use the voucher to upgrade and strengthen their core business, operations, and through consultancy in the areas of innovation, productivity, human resource, and financial management. Apart from consultancy, ICV also supports SMEs in the adoption and implementation of pre-scope integrated solutions to improve business efficiency and productivity. So in terms of how do you, what are you entitled to? Each SME is actually entitled to a maximum of 8 vouchers, and each ICV project must be completed before the submission of a new application. The duration of each project should not exceed 6 months to implement. Yes, so a good thing here is that JustLogin is actually one of the pre-approved vendors for this ICV capability voucher. And what it actually means is that we actually have a solution that allows you to manage your personnel tracking and asset movement for your employees. And essentially what that means is that, calculating your OT, applying for your leave, and having your payroll all integrated on one platform, talking to one another, managed via mobile and mobile devices. So I'm actually just going to do a very quick summary of what we've covered through for this afternoon. From a regulatory and compliance perspective, organizations that recognize the value of engaged staff and effectively communicate and comply with these regulatory benefits actually see improved productivity and profitability and employee loyalty to the business. Your millennial workforce expects instant gratification from technology and social interactions, and it is a trend that will be translating into their daily lives. And finally, as we gear up into HR of the future, software today offered as a service over the internet, a SaaS-based model, businesses will have a wide variety of cost-effective solutions that can be customized to their needs. Now, I'd like to leave it here to check if you open to us having a demo or learning more about your organization and how we can help. There are 2 methods. You can actually list down your interest in the survey, or you can just go to justlogin.com for free trial, and actually you can sign up for a free trial there. With that, my take or my sharing is actually over. And if you have actually put in any questions, okay, we don't. So it looks like we don't have any questions at this point in time. If there's any questions, maybe I'll pass over to.
Yeah, if there's any questions, you can just type it out now. Okay, while waiting for more questions, maybe you can share more about like the grants. So for example, just now Duncan also mentioned about the flexible working arrangement grants. So that is actually also applicable to JustLogin. So for example, we also support flexible working hours. Even in our own company, how we use it is we have flexible start and end times. So using our time clock, we are able to clock in whenever we come in and clock out. So we can clock in anytime between 8:30 to 10:30, and we can leave maybe between 5:30 to 7:30. It's very flexible. But we are able to capture all these hours using our time clock. So as long as everyone hits the hours requirement, and that's fine. So that is one way you can make use of the flexible working arrangement grant. Yeah. So we do have a customer that has actually successfully applied that for JustLogin. Okay, I see some questions coming in. Okay, how do we apply for the funding? If you are talking about ICV as well as the flexible working arrangement, we can assist you in applying it, but most of the time you have to do the application yourself because we require the SingPass of the company's owner. Yeah, but we will be in helping you with the whole process.
That's right, Ying. We actually have compiled some step-by-step guides to assist our prospects and customers in helping them with the application process. But definitely, if you would love to learn more, it would be great if we can set up a time to actually give you an overview in terms of how it's done.
Okay, and I see someone asked if you're able to share the slides with everyone. Yep, no problem. We'll be sharing the recording with you. And if you want the slides, I think that's possible as well. So we can share both the slides as well as the webinar recording with you for your reference. So if there is no other questions, we have reached the end of our webinar. So before we end, I would like to send out a survey link. So it'd be great if you can just help us fill up the survey. It's a very simple form for you to fill up. And at the end of this webinar, we'll be sending out an email with the recording, slides, as well as the survey link in case you don't have time to do it now. Yeah, so with that, we've come to the end of the webinar, and we really thank all of you for your participation and joining us here today.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.